Anime doesn't need to be complicated to be compelling. It's a pretty common misconception, and if one series shows this particularly well, it's this one. Through its presentation of a simple and yet crazy slice of a girl's life, we simultaneously receive a deeper message on family. So today, a review of Hanasaku Iroha, Blossoms for Tomorrow. Hanasaku Iroha isn't really about its alright romance, or even work as it may lead you to believe. It's about the idea of bonding as a group and growing up. The show follows Ohana, your standard 16-year-old city girl living in Tokyo, until, due to complications of having a bitch of a mother, is forced to move to an inn in the countryside. It's this transition between the two distinct locations that sparks the growing up part of the anime. Being in the countryside poses a new environment to adapt to, with a magnitude of new people, new places, and everything else. However, that's not really all that special, and I'm sure I could describe a lot of anime like that. Where Hanasaku Iroha is unique, however, is what it chooses to focus on: Ohana's development as a character, because if there's one thing we can all relate to, it's the principles of life. I'm sure some snarky philosopher has once said life is just as much about the lows as the highs, and it's honestly true. You're human, you know that. And this is what the show tries to encapsulate at its core. Even if it is just for a split second, the show is able to make you appreciate life through a slice of Ohana's, because it's set up in that reflective kind of way. She's not perfect, nor is anyone else in the show, and that's pretty relatable. Hell, it's kind of similar to Kissuisō in that sense, just not as emotional, although at times, it came pretty damn close. But leaving all that to one side, if there's one thing the show does better above all else, it's the theme of family. It's pointed out in the character's name itself. Ohana translates to family in Hawaiian, or rather the concept of those in close relation working together and maintaining a tight bond. With the inn acting as the catalyst, this is what we see slowly but surely across all of our characters who work there, and even some who don't. Throughout the anime, various events and occurrences cause characters to work together. Sometimes they achieve at what they're trying to do, other times they fail, but that's not really the point. It's the fact that you can rely on those around you, and they can rely on you. And I've got to say, few have presented this as well as Iroha. Yeah, sure, some characters are worse than others, some are just outright annoying, and generally, the show loves to go off and do its own thing for comedy or melodramatic purposes quite frequently. But it always circles back to this perfectly encapsulated theme, highlighting the importance of the concept of Ohana in a very heartwarming way, and in itself a reminder of why life isn't all that bad, the people around you. In terms of characters, I've already mentioned Ohana being a gem of a protagonist. She ignites and personifies the flair that everybody should have, because the world would be a better place. She's bursting full of energy and carried the show, ensuring it never got boring. Her wacky and fun personality is really what made the show fun to watch, as well as her interactions with the working environment, school, and most importantly the other girls, who were all pretty great. As far as the others, Minko is probably my favourite. I felt like her development portrayed the deeper theme the best, plus I generally felt her character spiced up a lot of the scenes, particularly around the middle and end of the show. There are many typical tsundere qualities attached to her, but that's really just her archetype. She's quite original in terms of her actual character. That leads me on to Nako, the shy girl looking to discover her real self, and does so through again the inn and Ohana's presence there. Saying all that though, I can't say she truly stood out and felt a lot more like a supporting role than a main character at times. Finally, you have best girl, bubbly Yuna, who's all about the adventure of life, who always excited me when she came on screen. It's alright having a message, but the characters really bring that message to life in the show, being bloody fantastic. If the characters weren't amazing enough, it doesn't take much to sell Hanasaku Iroha in the visual department. It's certainly one of the best looking shows I've watched in, well, ever. Honestly, the art style and animation made it feel almost surreal at parts. I really do mean that. The amount of times the show is able to leave you in an almost hypnotic trance from its vivid detail is certainly amazing. Better yet, the show is able to make full use of this with its rich setting. It doesn't choose to restrict itself in any sense of the word. One day we can be at the inn, the next the coast, or even back in Tokyo, which led to it being visually dynamic, and that's arguably one of the best things about Hanasaku Iroha. As you've probably been hearing throughout this review, the soundtrack kind of matches exactly what I've said for the visuals, so when you combine them, you get this top tier result, which I could honestly recommend on audio-visual alone. The music is extremely diverse, which carried the scenes through a full range of emotions, which may seem like a small thing, but atmosphere is honestly something a drama needs. But that's not even the best part. By far, that's got to be the insert songs. This is what made the show so goddamn emotional at times, because everything worked together to make you feel exactly how the show wants you to. I honestly did try finding criticism for this section, and I just couldn't. It seems perfect in every humanly conceivable way. Undoubtedly, it's a show to exercise your senses. Hanasaku Iroha is blissfully simple, and yet packs so much in its 26 episodes. Ideas of family, relationships, work, and so on. Taking all that into consideration, the show flat out deserves the time of any slice of life fan in terms of Kevin's definition here, to watch. If you want to purchase Hanasaku Iroha, it's available from NIS America in the US and Canada, better yet in a sexy premium edition set. It's one of the best North American releases I've held. Not only does it look great front to back, it comes with a hardcover art book full of interviews, artboards, and other neat stuff. NIS America were kind enough to support me with this review, so please do go and support them if I've been able to convince you to watch it, or in general, because, well, it's a fantastic release. Other than that, check out my Kissuisō review if you're looking for something with many similar themes. Just be prepared to sacrifice the sublime presentation. And as always, have a great night or day.